But yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to GoDCGo's webinar on supporting a sustainable return to office. We are navigating the shift to in-person work. So hopefully everyone can see the screen, and we welcome any comments in the chat. Are we able to see the chat? Raise your hand if you can't see the chat and we will try and figure something out. But hopefully everything is running well. I just wanted to thank everyone for attending. I know that there's a lot of questions right now about returning to the office, and I just want to say that we're here to help. GoDCGo has always been in this work of helping people figure out their commutes. And so now it's more important than ever. We are here to help answer your questions about how to get people to and from work around the city, in and out of the city, and especially sustainably in a way that makes sense. You can do it long term, is cost effective, so on and so forth. So my name is Jessica Lynn. I'm the Deputy Program Manager for GoDCGo, and I am joined today by Isabel Reedy, who is our Employer Outreach Coordinator. Some housekeeping rules. We will save some time at the end to answer all the questions. Oh, chat feature is disabled. So I guess we will do Q&A. If you have questions, drop them in the Q&A and we will answer them all at the end. Thank you. And once again, this webinar will be recorded and we will send out a recap to all those who registered with their emails. So no worries there. You will get, if there are links, you will get them all in the recap at the end. So we'll start off with who we are. So next slide, GoDCGo is an initiative of the District of Transportation, also known as DDOT. Like I said before, we are doing outreach. We have helped people figure out their commutes since the last 10 years. So this is nothing new for us. Though times may change, transportation will always be important, and we are the leading resource for transportation information and options in the district. We encourage the use of sustainable transportation, especially, and that will be a theme throughout today's presentations. So though many of your staff may now be thinking about how to drive back to work, we're going to try and look at other options as well, because that's very important to us. Because we offer complementary transit resources and consulting services in order to, our big goal here is to decrease traffic congestion, improve air quality, and create an overall better quality of life in the DC area. So when we all have transportation options, it makes everyone safer, healthier, especially with the freedom to choose how we get there and not just relying on cars. Great, so our agenda for today is a little bit about GoDCGo, generally navigating a return to office. We're going to learn about what TDM is. So that's what we do. GoDCGo is a TDM initiative. So what is that? And then we're going to talk about commuter benefits, some things that you might be able to offer at your workplace to ease up the burden of commuting. Some GoDCGo resources, and then I'll hand it over to Isabel to talk about specific ways that you can help your staff through ride sharing, bicycling, incentive programs, and other GoDCGo services. Like I said, at the end, we'll have some time for questions. All right, so starting off, navigating the return to office, these are ways that GoDCGo can help. So now that we are returning to the office, well, there's a lot going on. Many employers and organizations are moving towards in-office requirements in 2025 and onwards, and for various reasons. So during this transition, you and your staff might experience some challenges, new questions coming up, and that includes previously remote and hybrid employees are now searching for a cost-effective and efficient way to get to the office. Previously, that wasn't something they had to worry about, had to think about, and now it's a new question. How are we going to get to the office? And as the employer, you want to be able to support your employees getting to the office as well, because that's a problem of retention, it's a problem of keeping morale up. So we are trying to help our staff here. More congestion on the roadways, so that leads to longer commute times, potential stress, people coming in not so in the right mood for working because it's been hectic, and it's frankly not always the safest thing to be driving in traffic, bumper to bumper traffic. Increased demand on parking spaces, so when you previously had 50 spaces and that was enough for 30 employees coming in, now you've got to think about, okay, now 100 staff are coming in, what were we going to do? And then of course more demand on workplace facilities, desks, lockers, showers, etc. So how can we address this? When everyone's coming back to the office, what happens when everyone drives? We have this graphic here to show how we can be more efficient and also more human about our streets. When people are sharing the space in an effective way, we no longer have all of this roadway used by cars, and we can actually become more sustainable and also reduce risks of conflict, vehicular conflict with pedestrians, bikers, and it's a much more efficient way to move people around, right? So it's not that we are anti-car or anything, but when everyone drives, that creates issues. So we're trying to create options, open up multiple ways for people to get to and from work. And we want to think about how we can help people not to drive. All right, so there are many ways to do this, and that's what TDM is about. So TDM stands for Transportation Demand Management. And on the right, we have a graphic here that shows different options that are TDM tools. You can consider these strategies as ways to reduce our drive alone rate. So what is TDM? It's policy or research counterpart to transportation infrastructure that helps us to educate travelers and commuters about what their options are. And TDM also helps us to better understand commuter behavior. Through these strategies and programs, we can make our transportation system as efficient and sustainable as possible. And of course, the overall goal is to reduce drive alone as an option to commute, because that will also help us reach our goal of reducing congestion and creating a better quality of life in the DC area. So speaking of how we can help people to not drive, well, if you want people to do a certain thing, we've got to make the option available, realistic, and practical. So we've got to talk about commuter benefits offerings. Are there other options as feasible as driving alone? Because you've got to admit driving alone is pretty comfortable, especially if that's what you're used to. So how can we reduce the stress of switching to another commute and make it fun? Well, let's look at our commuter benefits options. So the value of offering strong commuter benefits for employees is that they can save money, save time. Think about the money you spend on gas, on maintenance, all those inspection things. So saving money by taking, for example, bus or rail. And it saves you time because you don't have to wait in traffic. And then reducing your carbon footprint as an individual, promoting healthier habits. Let's say you're biking to work, then you're getting your exercise in, you're promoting endorphins, you're in a better mood. So you're more productive, and it reduces your stress as well. For the employer, offering commuter benefits can actually help you with payroll tax. So there are some clauses where you can save on payroll taxes by offering commuter benefits. You can also increase the benefits that you offer, and that makes you a competitive organization among those that are hiring. You can attract and retain top talent this way, meet any sustainability goals that you have, and then overall, you're a healthier organization. Your employees are less stressed and therefore more productive. I'm going to drop a quick poll in the chat, and we can keep this poll running while we're continuing our presentation. But I just wanted to gauge what you all think. So the question is, how much time did the average DC area commuter spend in traffic for the last year, for all of 2024? How much time was the average DC area commuter sitting, waiting in their car in traffic? So we've got some answers coming in. This is so interesting. There is a right answer, and I will share that in just a moment. So I'm going to leave that running. I'm going to continue this presentation. So if you've already answered, feel free to listen along. Commuter benefits are actually required by law for those employers that are 20 employees and up. So if you've got 20 or more employees, actually you are required to offer some sort of commuter benefit. So under this law, and you can look up DC commuter benefits law with the Department of Employment Services for more information. I'm not going to get into that too much today. Just wanted to introduce that to you so you're aware. You need to offer either a pre-tax or direct subsidy benefit to your employee. So employees can either pre-tax, meaning they can set aside income for commuting by mass transit or van pools up to $325 per month. So it's just up to 325. You don't have to do that amount, but employees, basically, they can set aside the money that they're spending on metro or bus, or if you're offering vanpool, that counts too. And they can take that money and it's not taxable. And that actually helps them to save a good amount of money each year, so hundreds. And then it is required by DC Community Benefits Law, one of these options. If you don't want to do that, employers can also provide a direct subsidy up to, again, it's up to 325 per month to cover their commute costs through mass transit or vanpool. Now, this 325 per month is a recent change. So keep looking out for this law or subscribe to our newsletter on godcgo.com so that you will know whether this limit is going to change year by year. I do see that someone has their hand raised in the participants. Please feel free to put any questions in the Q&A app at the bottom, and we will definitely get to them at the end. Thank you so much. All right, now I'm going to give the answer to the poll. It looks like most people ended up choosing, let's see, 44% of you chose 62 hours total and 38% of you chose 94 hours total. And we did have some people answer 8 and 46 as well. The correct answer was 62 hours total waiting in traffic last year. So that's a lot of time that your employees could have been spending doing something else, getting their life back, work-life balance, or being at the office, actually getting there and getting work done, being a part of your company's culture. So let's keep that in mind as we go throughout our presentation. But thank you for answering. There were those of you that chose 62 hours. Great job. You got it right. All right, so reevaluate your commuter benefits. The return to office now is the perfect time to start reconsidering what benefits you're offering because employees are thinking about their commutes. So now they're evaluating benefits. They're looking to see, is my employer going to cover the cost of me taking in metro? Or, well, now I'm not sure if I'm going to get that parking space I need. People are swapping a lot these days for various reasons. And so they're taking a closer look at what benefits are being offered. So they're assessing their travel costs, their lifestyle, their choices, and we want to be able to retain our employees, especially during a time like this. So having the attention of employees around RTO is great timing. We want to leverage this opportunity and face challenges like increased parking demand. So remind employees of how you're supporting them in this transition. This might be a great time to send out communications about what benefits you are offering and think about how you can increase what you are currently offering. So take this information back to your team and reconsider what incentives, what programs, what increases you can make and offer to your employees. All right, next slide. For example, Smart Benefits offered through WMATA. So WMATA is the metro, and they offer this program called Smart Benefits. It is totally free. So we do promote WMATA because, obviously the metro, but also that there are no fees attached to administering Smart Benefits through WMATA for the employer. It's totally fine if you want to use another administrator for your transit benefits, but we are just sharing about the metro because there are no fees attached to this for managing your program. So if you are interested, you can visit WMATA's website. It's like wmata.com/benefits/smart benefits, or for support, you can contact smart benefits at wmata.com. We've also got the QR code that will take you to the page where you can enroll today. But essentially, Smart Benefits is a platform where you can easily administer commuter benefits dollars to your employee's Smart Trip card, Smart Trip being the transit pass that works on metro and bus. It can also be used on Dash, OmniRide, Fairfax Connector, Ride On, I think even the bus in Maryland. So if you've got employees commuting from outside the district, it is a great tool that just crosses the state boundaries, the district lines. So I would definitely encourage you all to look into this. All right, so lastly, I'd like to share GoDCGo resources. What are some other ways that we can help you? GoDCGo offers a myriad of services, such as we do commute surveys for your employees. If you're not sure currently how your employees commute, please feel free to talk to us, book a consultation, or visit our website, godcgo.com. We would love to help you prepare a commute survey. We have templates, we'll customize them for you. This will help you gather information about how do your employees commute, but also what benefits would they be interested in if you were to offer them? What would people actually utilize? This is great data if you're reevaluating your benefits. So let us know if you're interested. And of course, we do complimentary consultative services. So while we're at it, you can book a meeting with us to talk about what you do offer. If you're compliant with any sustainable transportation ordinances laws, or if you need to move into compliance, we can help you with that as well. Commuter benefits best practices. So webinars like these, we can tell you what are the best ways to handle a situation where you need to reduce parking demand. How can you set up a carpool? We would love to stay in touch and work on things like these. We also have Capital Bike Share corporate membership assistance. So if you're interested in Capital Bike Share, we'll talk more about this later, but you actually as an employer might qualify for significant discounts to offer your employees a Capital Bike Share membership. Capital Bike Share memberships can be used on all stations. So if you know you have bikers at your workplace and you want to help them with getting around by bike, we would love to talk to you about discounts that you might be eligible for. And lastly, I'm about to share an image of these, but free brochures, maps, and custom materials. We have a very strong marketing team that can help you create custom marketing materials. For example, we have these get around guides. You can see them on the right. This is a map that we custom made for an employer. We can do the same thing for you as well. It shows all the sustainable options around your office, fare information, how to access it, and different tools or apps that you can use as part of your smart or your trip planning. And this is great because it's digital and physical. So if you want a copy, you can share it with your staff. If you can share it with people who are visiting the office, you've got family or clients. This is a great tool to use. We've also got toolkits. Our employer commuter benefits toolkit, if you're interested in learning more about commuter benefits law and how to get compliant. And we've recently developed a ride sharing toolkit. This is something I really wanted to share with you all. We have some resources on how to facilitate carpools, how to start that up, ways to incentivize. So if this is something, maybe some of you all on the call, I've worked with you specifically, and we chatted about carpool. This is something to look into. This is new, our ride sharing toolkit. If you're interested, I'd love to connect with you after. Feel free to ask some questions or email me if you have my email. We'll share all that at the end. Infographics we have on bicycle and scooter commuting, and promotional language, email templates, transit routes, maps, and guides. We really do it all. So if you are interested, please let us know. We're getting to the end of my section, I promise. You all are tired of hearing me talk, and I need to get water soon as well. But this is one of the last things. So tabling events in transportation fairs. This is one of my favorite things to do because we get to come out to your office, your workplace, and connect with your employees and promote sustainable commute options. We chat with them about what are their challenges when it comes to commuting, and we get insights like, well, it's really hard to bike here because of certain things that are around the office, or maybe the lockers are in a terrible place, it's so hard to get up the stairs. We get insider information like that by taking the time to chat. I know you all are busy and you know your employees so well, but sometimes we get out there, we can reinforce the things that have been said about transportation challenges, and we can find opportunities to enhance commuter benefits by being there on site. And we can also share information. Maybe some employees missed a notice or they have never heard of certain programs. We can get out there and share more information about what the city is offering, and help them with their commutes. So we'll be out there, we'll be building enthusiasm for sustainable commuting, and we'll be sharing information that they might have never known was available to them about commuting. And as you can see in the pictures, we also provide fun swag. So, I mean, who doesn't love getting a cute little stress ball shaped like a heart? It says love your commute. So yeah, and we'll bring out tote bags, stickers, fun things, and lots of brochures about all these different transportation options: metro, bus, rail, biking, guaranteed ride home. If you haven't heard of that, I'll tell you more later. So it is a great time We have a lot of transportation holidays coming up, so I'm actually going to open a new poll. Feel free to take a look at that as we are continuing the presentation, but I would love to know if you could imagine GoDCGo coming to your office. Some of you already have invited GoDCGo. Thank you so much. It was so good to see you there. We would love to be back. And some of you have never invited GoDCGo before because this is one of your first times hearing about our services. So which of these special days would you be interested in celebrating and having GoDCGo come table at your workplace? Some of you have company specific events like staff retreats, annual meetings. We're happy to do that too. We have all hands meetings sometimes that we'll show up for and table. And then we'll do Earth Day, Bike to Work Day. Some people do a mental health day or wellness day. We're happy to be there and promote benefits as well. So if you can imagine us coming, please let us know because we would like to follow up and make that happen. So in the poll, please vote where you would like to see us come and do a tabling event. All right. I'll leave that open and I'll just wrap it up with we're happy to do it virtually as well. If in-person events, we wanted to highlight in-person events because I mean, we're returning to the office, but we know that sometimes that's not always possible. So we are happy to do virtual events as well. We offer presentations and lunch and learns for staff training. So we can host that and teach them about commuter benefits or sustainable commuting in the office or even biking. We can teach them about biking options in the district. We've done that before. CABI 101 trainings, commuting smarter, not harder. What are the commuter benefits employees can take advantage of? So just let us know. We can do these lunch and learns virtually or in person. All right. Thank you for answering in the poll. I'll just leave that open for a little longer so people can think about what else they might be interested, and we'll try and get more people to participate in this poll as well. I think that wraps up my section, so I will hand it over to Isabel. We've got great information about ride sharing and bicycling, so I will pass it over to you.
Thanks so much, Jess. All right, yes, I'm going to take it away, just covering one sustainable commute mode, ride sharing, that can really help sort of facilitate a smooth transition back to the office. This is an especially great option for folks that live far from transit, don't have a metro station nearby, or maybe the bus service is not so great where they live and they're traveling really far to get to the office. This is a really great option for them. And it's also great for those who are more comfortable or accustomed to commuting by car because it's less of a stark transition. So I'm just going to go into some of the options or different kinds of ride sharing and some other resources to help you and your employees. All right, so the first one is carpooling. This is when someone shares their car with at least one other person to get to work. And there are a lot of benefits that come with carpooling. Obviously, reduced costs. You're splitting the cost of gas and any other associated costs like tolls. Carpools are also eligible for HOV lanes and roads, and so that can save on costs and on commute time. So this is a really great benefit of carpooling and ride sharing in general. You're also reducing your carbon footprint when you carpool, and this is a really great benefit for employees who want to try a more sustainable mode of getting to work. The other side of carpooling is the social side. You get to connect with your coworkers and make work friends this way. And so there is also a social benefit to carpooling. That's really great. And it's very convenient because you're dropped off right at your work site and you're picked up at a location, either your home or a nearby park and ride lot or somewhere that's close and convenient to you. And ultimately for the employer, this is reducing parking demand at your work site because you're having less people drive alone to work. And so this is a really excellent option. And GoDCGo is here to help facilitate any carpool groups. We can help your organization to use the Regional Commuter Connections ride-sharing database to match employees with others who live in their area to create carpool groups. And we can also help you to conduct a zip code analysis, which is another great tool that can be helpful in creating carpool groups and also vanpool groups. So vanpool, very similar to carpool, but there are some notable differences. First of one being you have more people. So when you're ride sharing in a van, you are required to accommodate between 4 and 15 passengers and have at least 7 seats, and at least 7 of those seats being occupied at 50% capacity. And there are several benefits of van pooling that are different from carpooling, namely that you can use pre-tax dollars or employer subsidized transit benefits. So employees can use their commuter benefits that your organization might be providing them, for instance, through smart benefits like Jess mentioned earlier, to pay for their commuting costs through a van pool. So this is a really great option for folks who, again, are traveling long distances and have high commuting costs if they were to drive alone. This can help them a lot. And again, like carpooling, van pools can use the HOV lanes and roads. They can also receive free and subsidized parking, and they also qualify for some commuter connections benefit programs that I will touch on later. Again, sharing a ride, you don't have to drive. It's less stressful. Employees can just sit back, do work, go on their phone, read in the car while they're on the way to work instead of driving by themselves and sitting in traffic, which can be very stressful. And again, a social element too. You're connecting and sharing space with your coworkers, and that can be really fun. And then a third, less commonly known ride-sharing option is slugging. And slugging has been practiced for decades in DC and Northern Virginia, and it's essentially casual carpooling if you haven't heard of it. Carpools are formed on the spot daily to meet HOV lane requirements. So drivers will pull up to designated slug lines, and riders will wait and match with drivers that are headed in the same direction as them and have the same final destination. So this can be a really flexible and sort of less of a commitment than joining a van pool or carpool. So this can be a great option for employees who want to try ride sharing, but might not want to commit right away to a van pool. And if you'd like to learn more about any slug line locations near your work site and share any resources with your employees, you can learn more at slug-lines.org. They have maps of all of the different slug line locations, and they also have the pickup and drop off times for each of those locations so that people can kind of know what to expect, when they should go, and where people will be heading to and from in those areas. And they're located throughout Northern Virginia and DC, and specifically for folks who are commuting from both of those areas. All right. Now, I mentioned Commuter Connections a couple of times, and this is a program of the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, and it's a really great free umbrella of programs that we really like to promote to employers because all of these programs can really help your employees and supplement your existing commuter programs. So particularly for ride sharing, Commuter Connections has a variety of resources to support employees who are interested in carpooling and van pooling to work. Their commute cost calculator is a great option. It shows how much an employee's commute will cost if they're driving, and this can be used to help determine and split costs for a carpool. So they can split gas costs and other costs evenly. So that's a really great tool that carpoolers and van poolers can use. Also, their ride sharing, ride matching resources, they specifically have a database with thousands of commuters in the region who are looking for carpool drivers and carpool passengers. So this is a really great resource for employees and for employers alike to create carpool groups with people who are traveling and working in the same area or similar areas to them. Also, like I mentioned before, carpools and van pools can utilize the HOV lanes and express lanes, and on the Commuter Connections website, they have maps of all of the HOV lanes and sort of the hours of operation. So carpoolers and van poolers can know and plan their trips accordingly to optimize on savings, time and cost savings. The website also has over like hundreds of park and ride lot locations, and I know they have thousands of parking spaces that are available. The majority of them are free to the public, and many of them have transit and bus access and parking facilities for bicyclists. So this is great for people who are obviously driving to a parking lot and taking the metro into work, but it's also great for people to meet up to pick up their carpool passengers. So we really recommend that resource for carpools and van pools. And this is something that you can share with your employees for them to sort of work out the logistics of where and when they're going to be picking up their carpool and van pool passengers. And Commuter Connections also has a flexible van pool program. So this is an option for employees who, again, might be new to van pooling and want to try it out, or maybe their primary mode of travel might not work every single day. And so they can either reserve ahead of time a seat in an open van pool, or they can in real time join a van pool just for that day if there's an open seat, and they'll be able to get a ride through that van pool. It's very convenient and flexible, and also tends to cost a lot less than, say, an Uber or a Lyft, because the cost is split amongst 7 or more people. So this is a really great affordable option as well for folks who are interested in ride sharing. And this is the last ride sharing program I'm going to touch on for Commuter Connections, and it's a really, really great one. It's called Pool Rewards, and it's a really great way to further incentivize employees to transition from driving alone to carpooling or van pooling. So if your worksite already facilitates carpool groups, already has preferential parking for carpools and van pools, that's all wonderful and great and an excellent way to encourage folks. And this is something free that you can use to further leverage and promote ride sharing at your work site. So the program for folks that are new to carpooling, they can earn up to $320 for their first 90 days of carpooling in a new group. All they have to do is register with Commuter Connection and register that new carpool group in order to receive that reward. And for van pools, commuters who currently drive alone to work and who start a new van pool with 7 or more occupants, they can earn a $200 monthly subsidy through the Pool Rewards program. So both carpoolers and van poolers who are new to ride sharing and starting those groups can earn big rewards through this free program. So if you're interested, you can learn more at commuterconnections.org, and you can encourage your employees to sign up for the program by registering an account with Commuter Connections. All right, so we've talked about ride sharing as a sustainable mode, and another sustainable mode that can really help with a smooth transition back to the office is bicycling or bike commuting, especially with the weather getting nicer, the cherry blossoms are out, it's warmer, sunny, people are more excited and motivated to be outside. Biking is a great option for that, especially with Bike Month in May just around the corner and Bike to Work Day activities and festivities happening. So this is a really excellent time to be promoting biking at your workplace. So of course, one of the biggest biking resources in DC is Capital Bike Share, which I'm sure many, if not all of you, are familiar with. Just some background information to share about Capital Bike Share. It's the largest system in the US. Sorry, it's the 3rd largest, and it's the most affordable. So we're really, really lucky to have such affordable bike share options in the district. And it's used very, very frequently by a lot of folks in the DMV area with 3 million trips annually. We have a lot of stations, over 50% of them are in the district, and over 700 stations are located throughout the region in Maryland, Virginia, and DC. And recently, 850 new e-bikes were added to the fleet. So it's just continuously expanding. And I know, especially in DC, they are all over the place. You can go a couple blocks and see a Capital Bike Share station. So this is a really excellent option for folks that are traveling from a metro or a bus stop and trying to get to their final destination, first and last mile solution, and also great for errands or shorter trips as well. So as Jess mentioned at the beginning, we do help with Capital Bike Share corporate memberships. So just to give some context or some information on this program, Capital Bike Share corporate membership only costs $50 per employee. So normally an annual membership for an employee costs $95 a year. So this is a really significant subsidy through the corporate program that you can use to offer this benefit to your employees. And you can offer it at a full or half subsidy amount. So you can pay $25 per employee and the employee participating can pay $25, or you can fully subsidize so that the employee is paying $0 and you're paying $50. It's up to you. There are different options to offer this wonderful benefit. And through the membership, employees can receive unlimited 45-minute bike rides on standard bikes. So these are the red manual bikes, and then a discount on the electric bikes. And they also don't have any unlocking charges. So normally someone who's using the bike share system would be charged for simply unlocking the bike. Members of Capital Bike Share don't get charged this additional amount. And often most bike rides that are first and last mile are going to be under 45 minutes, especially in the district, in the city. So most of Capital Bike Share corporate members' bike rides are going to be free, which is really, really excellent benefit and a great way to encourage folks to bike because they're not getting charged for it. Like I said, this is a great option for shorter trips, like meetings and errands while they're at work or after and before work. And the e-bikes are also great for assistance on hills. If employees have to commute uphill to get to work, the e-bikes are a great option for that. So that's a great benefit of the membership as well. All right, so if you're interested or you think that the Capital corporate membership sounds like a good option for your workplace and your employees, GoDCGo has actually a new program called the Try Cabby program. So GoDCGo is offering employers with a free 30-day trial to see if a Capital corporate membership would be right for you and your employees. So participation, again, is completely free. We don't have any payments that are required or need to be made to us or Capital Bike Share. We would just give you those codes for your employees free of charge. We will collect survey data to see how your employees use the Capital Bike Share corporate membership, how many trips they took, their feedback on the program, and their interest in having that as a long-term benefit. So that will be really helpful for your organization to sort of gauge interest and see how beneficial it would be for your organization to implement for a year-long membership. And we kind of also touched on Cabby 101 earlier, but I'm going to go into a little bit more depth into what that is. So that's a session that we offer to Try Cabby participants, and it can be online or in-person training to give bicycle commuting information, safety tips, information on how to use Capital bikes, how to access their membership, how to unlock bikes, also promoting what the membership includes, and answering any questions that they might have just to help them feel more confident and excited about commuting by bike. We also offer helmet raffles to give away to employees who attend our sessions. And of course, we always bring our swag items. Some of our swag items are also convenient for bike riders. So we have bike lights and bike gloves and bags that are useful for wearing when you're biking so it doesn't get in the way. So if you're interested in this program at all, please feel free. You can contact us at info@GoDCGo, or you can fill out our interest form that will be sent in the recap email. And again, this is a really great time to consider Capital Bike Share with the weather warming up and with Bike to Work Day just around the corner. So we really encourage you to make the most of this free program and to see whether Capital Bike Share would suit your employees. In addition to Capital Bike Share and Cabby 101 sessions, GoDCGo can also help organize safe commuting sessions for your employees to travel by bike in the city and feel safe and secure biking on the streets in the district. We partner with WABA, the Washington Area Bicycle Association, and they provide a lot of excellent street safety information and instruction to organizations in the district. And so we can help your organization if you're interested to facilitate group rides or adult classes with WABA. So this is another excellent resource for education and instruction on how to bike safely in DC and further support biking at your organization. All right, so in addition to the robust commuter benefits that you're currently offering or perhaps potentially considering on revamping with this transition to in-person work, incentive programs are an excellent tool to leverage and further encourage sustainable transportation use and behavior change at your work site. And like I mentioned before, Commuter Connections is the regional provider of these incentive programs and have many free programs that are really excellent to use and encourage commuters to travel sustainably. So we really always highlight these programs and encourage you to promote them at your work sites. And again, we're happy to provide any digital information or brochures on these programs. If you're interested, please feel free to reach out to us, email us, send a question in the Q&A, and we'd be happy to follow up with you and provide more information or some marketing resources. All right, so this is a really huge one and one you may or may not have already heard of, but we really always promote it because it's a benefit for anyone who commutes sustainably at least twice a week. They can register and be eligible for this program. So the GRH, or Guaranteed Ride Home program, gives peace of mind for commuters who are choosing to leave their car behind. So in the case of an emergency, like a personal or family illness or unscheduled overtime or inclement weather, any emergency that's unexpected, commuters can receive up to 6 free rides home in those cases. Again, it's completely free to register and participate. So Commuter Connections, the website, you can set up an account, employees can set up an account, register, and they will be eligible for this program. And Commuter Connections, in the case of an emergency, will either order the commuter a Lyft or taxi to get them home safely, or they will reimburse a commuter who has paid out of pocket for a Lyft, Uber, or taxi after the fact, up to 6 times a year. So this is a really excellent program, sort of commuter insurance, but you don't have to pay. Everything is completely free. So it's an excellent program to participate in and promote to your employees. All right. So Commuter Cash App is another incentive program and platform that Commuter Connections offers to everybody, all commuters in the DMV region. So even if your commuters or your employees are living in Virginia or Maryland and coming into the district, they can still participate like all Commuter Connections programs in this Commuter Cash program. And this is a new app that Commuter Connections has recently released where you can earn rewards for the trips, sustainable trips that you log. So with each trip, as you log them, you rack up points in the app and you can redeem these points for cash, gift cards, or transportation credit. So they can add credit to your Smart Trip card for use on Metro or bus and also on your Cabby account. And you can earn, commuters can earn up to $600 per year. And again, it's open to everyone, and it helps also to find optimal commuting options. So it will recommend when you should leave, what modes you can use, and what routes to take to optimize your cost savings, time savings, and reduce pollution in the region. So if you'd like to learn more, you can visit commuterconnections.org, and they have a Commuter Cash app section. And I think before we move forward, I believe there is one last poll that we're going to launch. Jess, if you could help me with that because I can't see the screen. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. So this is our last poll. So we have a question for you all. If you've heard of the GoDMV commuter competition, please answer the following questions. If you haven't heard of it, that's fine. You can select, no, I haven't heard of this. If you have heard of it, you can select the second option. And if you're participating, we'd love to hear that as well. If you're participating as an individual or as an employer, feel free to select. So we'll leave that up for a little bit to let people answer. And I'm going to provide some information if you haven't heard of it before this presentation. And this is my last slide of our incentive program. So we are reaching the end, folks, just to let you know. Thanks so much for listening and your patience so far. All right, so the GoDMV commuter competition, if you haven't heard of it, is a 3-month-long competition or contest that runs from March 3rd. So it's already started and it ends May 31st. And commuters can log up to 6 non-drive alone trips per day for the chance to be entered to win raffles with lots of really great prizes. And this is all done through the Commuter Cash app. So people who are participating also earn points, which can be redeemed for those prizes and gift cards, like I mentioned earlier. So it's very simple. You create an account with Commuter Connections, you download the Commuter Cash app and start logging your trips. So this is an additional incentive for folks to use the Commuter Cash app, especially right now and until the end of May, because they're getting entered to win additional prizes, which I will cover right here. So we have a lot of really great, excellent sponsors this year, including the Pendry Hotel, Anjou Restaurant, Pizza Paradiso, the Nats. They've also sponsored us this year, Pacers Running, Ride Doc. And so all of those prizes have been provided through these wonderful organizations, with our grand prizes being 2 Diamond Club Nats tickets and a grand prize of staycation at the Pendry Hotel. So there are some really excellent prizes that commuters can win from logging their sustainable trips in the Commuter Cash app that we want you all to be aware of. All right, and this is the last section before we'll get to our Q&A. So given all that you guys are doing and planning to do to promote sustainable commuting at your organization, we really want to make sure that you get recognized for all your hard work and all of the promotion that you're doing to encourage this beneficial behavior change amongst your employees. So we have a recognition program at GoDCGo. It's called our Transportation All-Stars. And before I get into that, I'm just gonna look at the poll results because I just saw them from Jess. Thank you. And I see that 80% of us hadn't heard of it before. So I'm glad I was able to spread the word about that competition and bring awareness to it. Looks like we have 13% who are participating. So that's wonderful. We're excited and we're hoping that you're earning prizes and points through your participation. That's awesome. Thanks to everyone who answered the poll. All right. Yes, so just to finish up, I wanted to touch on our Transportation All-Stars program. And this recognition program recognizes organizations in the district for their commitment to sustainable transportation. And we have 4 levels based on your organization's effort: silver, bronze, gold, and platinum. And platinum organizations will earn a crystal award at our Transportation All-Star Awards ceremony. And there are a variety of benefits for being a sustainable transportation all-star, which I will cover in the next slide. So there are a lot of perks, as you can see, some of them just to call out and highlight. So obviously you're getting recognition at a district-wide level for your commitment to sustainable transportation, specifically recognition on our newsletter and website, and also at our annual award ceremony, which is coming up on the 9th of April. So we really encourage anyone on this call who is currently designated as an all-star to register and attend. It's a super fun event. We have a lot of excellent employers represented, and they win awards for their programs. And it's a really great event to network and see kind of best practices and what's going on in the district in terms of commuter benefits programs and sustainable commuting and sustainable transportation. So we really encourage you all to attend. If you are currently designated, the deadline to register is the 2nd of April. For current All-Stars. And if you are interested in attending and becoming an All-Star and you're not already, you can get designated by meeting with one of us, and we can set up a call with you just to understand more about the programs that you offer and where you would sort of fall within our recognition tier. So if you're interested in getting designated, don't hesitate to reach out. We will be sharing our contact information shortly, and also that will be included in the recap. And for those of you who want to register but maybe didn't get the link, also feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to send that to you, to our All-Stars. But yeah, there's a lot of benefits that you get from participating in our recognition program, including featuring on our social media, a badge to display your status, and also it really helps with employee retention to show that you're dedicated to sustainability and you can showcase your company's efforts at reducing your carbon footprint. So those are just some of the many benefits, and we would love to have you guys participate in our recognition program. And I believe that brings us to the end of our presentation. Again, would love to thank you all for attending and listening. And if we have any questions in the chat, Jess, I think we'll go through them. But here again is our contact information, so don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. Or any resources that you'd like to request from us or set up a meeting.
Great. Thank you so much, Isabel. That was awesome. I'm going to take a moment to answer the questions really quickly, and then I know we're coming up the end of our hour and many of you have lunch and other meetings to go to, so I'm going to be quick. We have Sean McCarran asking, are there any benefits for scooters too or just bike share? So currently we don't have any specific benefits that we can name from out of GoDCGo, but I will share about Lyft Pass. That's Lyft with a Y, as in the ride-hailing company. It's not necessarily a benefit that we're thinking of, like a discount, but they offer a platform where you can, as an employer, control how much you are offering to your employees, and it's all in one wallet. So it's called Lyft Pass. You can look into it and you can set parameters on what trips are covered by the subsidy you're offering to your employees, and that includes them taking Lyfts to go to meetings or taking scooters. You can give them, for example, a $50 amount to spend on a Lyft carpool or taking scooter rides that are no more than 15 minutes long, etc. So you can set the parameters, and it's just basically a way for you to manage the money that you're putting in for employees to use on Lyft. That's not the traditional benefit that I would share about, like pre-tax or Metro Rail, which is why I didn't cover it in the webinar, but you're free to look this up. Different vendors in DC may have different discounts available, and you can feel free to check out our vendor list. I'm not sure if Isabel, you're able to pull that up in such short notice, but we can send it out in the recap as well. Our whole vendor list, it includes all the scooter companies in DC. So you can check out Lyft Pass or other vendors that run scooters in DC. Thanks for the question. And then we also had someone ask about small businesses. Do we work with them? We absolutely do. So feel free to reach out to us if you would like to set up a lunch and learn or for us to create a get around guide. We've done that all the time and very recently as well. So no discrimination here for size. Great question. And then lastly, we also have someone asking, does the GRH, that's Guaranteed Ride Home program, have a limit of distance out of DC? There is a limit, although the range is very big. So I will share in the chat. I enabled the chat, so hopefully it works. This is from the Commuter Connections website, and this is a map of where they're covering. If you are asking for an employer that's outside of DC, like Fairfax County, they might have their own guaranteed ride home programs, but for the Commuter Connections Guaranteed Ride Home program, their coverage is pretty vast. So I would take a look at the map here. If you work within the shaded area and the employee lives within the yellow hued area, it's eligible. Just make sure you look up participation guidelines. They have to be taking a sustainable commute a certain number of times a week. All right. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to Isabel or myself. Contact information is on the screen and we will send out the recap. Thank you so much, everyone. It is 12 p.m. We're so grateful that you attended today and we're happy to answer additional questions. So don't hesitate to reach out and we'd love to stay in touch.